Hey everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and today Lacy Green got red-pilled. Sort of.
Okay, making this video. Hi Internet! I'm back! Did you miss me? Don't answer that if you're mean.
Before she released this video, she released a tweet saying that her new video might be unexpected. To her fans, it probably is. To people who've been paying attention to Lacy over the last month or so, not really all that surprising. If you're looking for me to just bash on Lacy, this isn't the video you're looking for.
I certainly missed you guys. It's been a few months since I've been on YouTube. Longest break I've ever taken, but it was very much needed and I feel so good. I think the social media detox is very nice.
This is actually really good advice for anybody who gets really upset online. It's especially good advice for SJWs who see pain and oppression everywhere. Get the fuck away from Tumblr. Get off of Twitter. Stop feeding your anger. Go have a little bit of a life for a while. Granted, it didn't seem like she was giving that as advice, but it doesn't make it any less of a good idea. We're going to skip a little bit. The part you're going to miss is that Lacy tells us she started hanging out with some anti-SJWs. Because of that, this has happened.
But now, at pro-Trump rallies, I'm told by reliable sources, there's talk that I'm being red-pilled in the Matrix sense, not so much the pickup artist sense. The red pill is a meme that refers to this realization that the world isn't nearly as simple as you thought it was. The question, of course, is what is the truth? What is the truth? And how bad do you want to know? In some sense, I took the red pill a long time ago. It's why I do what I do. My YouTube stuff has always been about the pursuit of forbidden knowledge. And while yes, I am a feminist, I wouldn't describe myself as the ideologue that people sometimes make me out to be.
If you were looking for me to bash on Lacy, this is the part you're going to enjoy. Nobody made you out to be an ideologue. That is the persona you put out there. It's not that people took your words out of context, it's that you've embraced all of this social justice nonsense. Your channel has never been really about red pill. It's never been about pushing boundaries. It's been about talking about sex. In the context of the red pill here, what people are talking about is waking up to the realization that feminism is a bunch of shit. Not necessarily that it's always wrong, but that it completely devalues men. There is nothing so far that you've shown on your channel that indicates red pilling at all. But in true social justice fashion, you're redefining it so it fits.
I feel that things tend to be messier than that, and frankly, that's the way I like it. So, let's get messy. So here's some context about me. I used to be Mormon, pretty intensely so. You know, when I was 12 years old, there were adults telling me that my spiritual destiny is to be perpetually pregnant. Cute, right? I am also half Iranian. Funny enough, my grandparents were political rebels in their day, speaking truth to power during the revolution in 1979. It's actually pretty badass, and it makes me feel like rebellion runs in my blood. But as a teenager, I got a little bit lost in all of this, as you do. So my first YouTube channel that I started when I was 17 was about skepticism and philosophy. Then, when I was 19, I created a series called Sex Plus, which is dedicated to helping young people who, like me, had been told that their sexuality was bad or wrong, that they're less than because of their gender or sexual orientation, and so forth. So this is the type of stuff that forms the core of my feminism, which I would describe as intersectional, sex positive, and skeptical.
I really debated whether or not I should include this clip because it doesn't go to the heart of the matter, but it does go to the heart of Lacy Green. And she makes a lot more sense to me now. Not that I agree with her, but I understand where she's coming from. One of my favorite sayings is, "It's what I learned after I knew everything that really counts." That kind of saying really pisses off young people because they always think it's insulting to them. Because how could they not know everything? How can you suggest they're not smart? It's not suggesting you're not smart, it's suggesting you don't have life experience. How that relates in Lacy's case here is she grew up Mormon. Very strict gender roles, apparently, where she had to just be popping out babies to have life fulfillment. And then she gets into feminism, which tells her that's how all women are treated. Doesn't matter that it's not true, it's validating what she thinks because of her own experience. This is a problem with a lot of social justice. It's the problem with intersectionality. The idea that just because one person is oppressed, everyone's oppressed, and we all have to get mad about it. Yes, that's an oversimplification, but it's basically what it is. But eventually you grow up, and things that used to seem very important to you lose their importance. Somebody whining because a troll online dropped an N-bomb doesn't matter near as much when you're having trouble figuring out how you're going to pay rent. You realize that a troll is just going to be a troll, and it doesn't have that big of an impact on anybody, that you can actually just ignore that shit. Suddenly, you have real problems to deal with. And that's why, as I watch this, I have no trouble believing Lacy's well on her way to being red-pilled. She's just not there yet.
In truth, I want to engage with criticism, but it's really hard to do online. There's a lot of hostility, things escalate super quickly, people don't really seem to be listening to each other, it's just a shit show. So I went down the rabbit hole of anti-SJW videos.
I really didn't make this video to bash Lacy, but this shit drives me nuts. If you listen to what she just said, she said that she wants to engage in debate, but it's so horrible. And then she tells us she's just now going to look at videos that counter her own arguments. Now, it could be said that she's talking about the shit show that are the comment sections on videos, but that's a bad way to determine what the other side's argument is. I have no doubt in my mind I could make the feminist argument because I've heard it so often. I watch opposing opinions to have my view challenged, and then to make fun of the people who said stupid shit when I'm still right. But at least I go out there and see what the other side is saying. You can't just write off criticism because some people are mean. And that's what so much social justice is. They won't even listen to the other side. It's not that they don't agree with them, which is what they think not listening is. See, if you listen to their argument and don't agree with them, they'll say, oh, you're not listening to me. When they will literally not take anything you say into consideration. Literally pull a fire alarm to keep people from hearing views they don't want heard. Views it's often found they never even took the time to listen to. Social justice in many ways is just a bunch of kids sticking their finger in their ears and going, la la la, I can't hear you, I know what I know. And it's a bunch of nonsense. Again, this isn't to bash Lacy here. This is just to point out this is how social justice works. This is why it's so cancerous. Because it is all about fundamental belief and never challenging it. If you can't stand having your view challenged, you desperately need to have your view challenged. And while it might have taken a while, I do commend Lacy for finally coming around to at least listening to the other side.
And I found that some are pretty disrespectful, but that's not all the channels. I've recently found anti-SJW channels that are well-cited and reasoned, make some interesting points. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I agree with that, or I didn't really think of that. And sometimes I disagree, in which case, I still feel it's beneficial for me to listen and consider another perspective. It helps me learn. So I decided to reach out to some. And, I was pleasantly surprised. People have been pretty kind to me. And, I'll be honest, I didn't really expect that. No judgment, no vitriol. I even feel like I have a really good connection with a couple of new friends. But not everyone is so hunky-dory about it. Good friends of mine, feminists, have been a little bit skeptical of me. They expressed the opinion that talking to antis or problematic people is, not going to be worth the time, that it won't be fruitful, that I'm engaging with bigots and validating their perspectives, that I'm offering a platform to bullies, things like that. While I can appreciate this perspective, I fundamentally disagree with it.
And that's going to wrap it up for Lacy. We only went over about half the video, but for the rest of it, I pretty much agree with what she says, and where I don't agree, it's very minor and not worth discussing. I do recommend watching the whole thing. It'll be linked below. Among other things, she talks about a new series she's going to start where she's going to host debates between anti-SJWs and SJWs. I can't wait to see how that turns out. For the rest of this, I just wanted to offer Lacy a little bit of advice. Get used to it. What I mean by that is your feminist friends who are questioning you right now, well, if you keep going the way you are, in a year they might not even be your friends. Ask any former feminist about their experience leaving feminism. They're never good stories. I can't think of anybody who's still friends with their former feminist friends. Once they stop accepting the approved narrative, they become the enemy. And it's worse than even just an anti-SJW, because they're traitors. And that's where you're headed. While I'm under no illusion that you're going to agree with me 100% one day, I do think if you keep digging like you are, your opinion is going to change quite a bit over the next year. And in doing so, you're going to lose a lot of people you call friends right now. On the plus side, there's a lot of good people over here. People who'll be willing to accept you even when we disagree, even if they seem like assholes about how they express that disagreement. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and I'll see you next time.
Hi Internet! I'm back! Did you miss me? Don't answer that if you're mean.
Your life makes me sad.